character forming, mirroring, hearing voices, and being myself. Waking up to this three-dimensional realm. So, and speaking about kinematics and yoga and magic and stretching. So if you start to hear voices, you just start to listen closer. Because all voices around you are you. They are just a different form, a different character form of you, but they are me. Now the question here is, are you able with your psychology, and are you willing to go in deep into the subconscious realm, into your childhood, and work on yourself? So what can take you there is a childhood altar, toys, things you played with when you were a child. Because these things subconsciously already remind you of the time once you've been younger. So this is very intelligent. This is about going in deep into the subconscious, into what you were and what you are as a child. You're always a child. You should be inside of yourself. You're always just a tiny little thing that wants to wake up to a far greater giant capacity. So it seems like we're doing here some big work, but basically once you really wake up to this reality, this is just a transport station where you wake up to what this is, and then you form your character in here, you form your spirit in here, you plant your seeds. It also gets into shamanism. So you wake up in something which is way greater than this thing here. So this is why I just mirror my phone. This is my type of style, at least for now, and then I see what comes up in the future, you know. Maybe I do a podcast at the roof of my birthplace, at the roof, in the roof. What is it called? In the let's look that up here. So you're still in this journey? Is it still recording? I hope so. See, it's an experiment. It's all an experience of mind. Because this is a very important word here. In the attic, or in the loft where I was as a younger child. You know, I had my place, and I was yesterday with my girlfriend over there. We were scrolling through some old books that I produced as a child, as a young magician, as a young Harry Potter. And I figured out that I was already having way back then, something to place my head onto. Sounds weird, huh? But what I mean with that is, a tripod. A tripod that I used for some artistic artwork for the school, for the skull. You know, this is basically what we do in here. So, back to the subconscious topic. The question is, how far can you go in deep, and then flip basically your subconscious realm into reality, because this is what you've worked for. You are digging the hole deep inside of you, deep into the unknown, deep into the roots. But once you then flip the iceberg around, this is basically when the tree starts to grow. Because the question is, how far are your roots? How deep is the iceberg reaching. And then you just flip it around and you start to see that this far you were digging the hole, so deep you were digging the hole, so high is going to be the tree built up. And this is basically what I'm doing right now. I just speak openly about the subconscious realm. And it seems to me that like there is, maybe there are different beings in this realm who are way higher than me, and I'm just not aware of them. They're watching at me and they're just maybe shaking their heads and be like, what is this retard doing here? But at the same time, I'm like, if you know all these things that I know, why won't you speak openly about it? See, and this is why I think I'm in the fish tank. I'm just waking up on my island, on my islands, on this 3D realm, reminding my giant abilities that this is all toys to play with, and sure to use it. But in the end, I mean, yeah, this should be a fun journey, a journey that I like. But also, it seems like all these mirrors in front of me, all these voices that I hear as a donut reflected to me, they are just me in another format. And is why because I'm way deeper than them, I'm probably way higher than them if I flip the iceberg. So that means I pull the strings in this realm, at least for my reality. I stay humble with it, like, what should we do here? Constructing the earth realm, planting the seeds, forming the character. Hey, maybe a podcast would be nice in future, just to record the voice. Because you should go out into the sun on your terrace, watching the sun, observing the sun, like a watchman, emitting time from yourself, and then you just enjoy your ride. So, the highest techniques that took me here are basically just working on myself over and over again, even before I got into one of the most powerful things, which basically then are the last drops to really open up my spirit. But to work on your nervous system, to work on your brain, to work on your mind patterns is important. So always, I was stressed for a very long time, at least it seems like it. So this is what martial arts is doing. It stresses you. It is always restructuring your brain patterns, because you always learn something new. You have to deal with new situations, new settings, and you learn a few new techniques. And you master the technique, you go in deep. You go in deep into your nervous system and you really learn something in you. So this is now what I'm also giving to the kids in the school, in the skull, they're me. In the preschool where I'm working, at the dojo where I am with the kids, and now I produce these mirrors because they're just fun to me. They're just representations of a current standard of myself at this specific time, at my waking up white tiger's abilities, my mental strength is, and my kinetic pharaoh mind states. Yeah, this also, gets into stretching. I was not stretching for a long time, but you know what? Stretching is magic. You want to know why stretching magic is? Especially with the urine. Especially with the urine in the sun, man, this is a whole nother level. Because you are, like I said, a battery charging itself in this realm to wake up to something far greater. And this is basically what is fluxing your electromagnetism through you way better. And now I'm also, listening to a lot of works from Bobby Hammett and 13BMES13 from Instagram. This channel is so interesting. It seems like this is me, this is my subconscious mind representing myself to itself. Yeah, I just, I take a photo here and just to, basic stretching poses, postures, pose. See, this also gets into, like I said, the voices that you hear around you. Tolerate them. That's very important to wake up to your greatest abilities and greatest stabilities. Because they are all me, representations of myself. And if you listen to them, if you tolerate them, you give them space, you give them mind space in your spacesuit, in my body. And then once you stretch it out, you literally relax all of the parts, all of the people which are living in my pupil or in my donut, in my mirror, in the voices that I hear, If you would just train with an eye mask, you would understand what I'm talking about, because it's more about your mindset, it's more about your postures. And the tones that you hear are just different frequencies around you at a different level. So, like I said, at a different level. All beings are just at different levels. Now, if you tolerate all of them, they're literally living in you. They're literally living in me. Now, if I give them the space and I accept them what they are, what would you think they could do to me, And the world is something completely different than what you think it is. The world is just what you perceive with your senses. Nothing else, nothing more. I don't know if you live on a globe or if you live on a flat earth. I live in my body in the first place. Now I take care of my spacesuit. And this basically is freeing up yourself from all the vessels from society that society was putting onto me. And it's also, like I said, gets into shamanism, gets into a lot of different mind abilities, I live in mind. I live in my mind, and this is why only the positions and the mind state changes, and the things that I think I perceive with my senses. So having clear senses is a great idea, right? Isn't it? Should be. So how would you have clear senses? One more time, you would just put urine onto your spacesuit and you would just travel way different. And I'm teaching, I'm speaking about these things. This is why I am so powerful. I have the gnosis, I have the blueprints, I know how my alchemical vessel is functioning. I do Shivambukalpa every day. I know about alchemy, and I would still, ingest all the different deities from carnivore to pescatarian, vegetarian, vegan, fruitarian, liquidarian, breatharian, and switch it up. And hey, I might do an urine enema also today. Might be an interesting idea. Yeah, why not? And see, this is how I ramble on. So this is basically what the everlasting wanderer in Wonderland is. So all you beautiful people, thank you for being with me. I am going to make a video here of myself stretching in the sun next to my bed and posting it also, you know, because I think I know in the end it's all here in me. It's all my body, it's all my mind. So waking up to this reality is great. Thank you. I love you.
Greater than love. I try to think of a big picture. This entire planet is ours. This universe is ours. Whatever our physical blood and physical remains, your mind is what we need to be cultivating. Ultimately, when this is all said, you still will exist. Then what would you be? You get what I'm saying? Then what will you call yourself? And that name is what I really seek. So it's not to put anything down or not to say anything. I just don't go in for that, because let's say we identify as the absolute positive and only African on the planet, then what? We'll still be punching in at Wendy's. You get what I'm saying? We'll still be doing the same thing. So once we what? So that then what is what I usually try to stay on, because we can be arguing all day about everything.
Hey, buddy. Subconscious mind. Hey, buddy. Wah, wah.
Then
I'm only Kemet, I'm only Yoruba, and you're only dealing with fragments. We are thousands of years separated from the original element. I talk about this all the time. So for you to just choose one section is like choosing one frame in a film with thousands of frames. So we have to go into what is the European calls chaos magic, which means European says, well, first of all, they say that none of this stuff belongs to us. So we have an opportunity to go further than the people in the traditions, because they're sticking to their family traditions or the tradition. What ones that we're trying to pick back up? So you're going to go to whatever tradition. They say, no, we study it all. No, we study it all. Because we know that the traditions are nothing but fragments now, but if we study it all, we can get the greater synopsis of what's going on. That's why I gave you three pre-dynastic deity, East Indian deity, and these particular entities, this particular stuff is the boats or the ships. This is coming from Budge's Osiris. Osiris, Titans are nothing but ancient black people that got killed off long time ago and made into humans, which is now you. Stop thinking like a human. You're more than human.
It is important for our people to know who they are, what they are, and where they are. Changing your thinking by thinking up towards your divine nature. Okay? Chitta, sin, is mistakes. We're all born into a realm of mistakes. You can't live down here without making mistakes. See, until you live in the world and not of it. When you're hooked up to your spiritual nature, carried from within, then you're through with left, right, left, right, left, right. Negative, positive, negative, positive. That's the mistake. You're down here on a three-dimensional until you wake up and realize who and what you are. Then all mistakes are canceled.
Childhood alter the mind state, memories, playing the drums. Now the sun and some good stretching moves. See, it's about the mind and obviously the sun, the black sun, the soul.